Testing. Testing. Well, it's kind of delayed, but that's okay. I wonder if the stream settings can fix that. Probably. No. Well. All right, so give it like 5-10 minutes, and then we'll get started on the top down. Excuse me. Ooh. All right, cool. Let me test the chat. All right, so we'll give it 5 or 6 minutes here, and then I'll get started on top down on BTC. And for those of you that just watched the video I put out a few days ago, I mean, stream today is not going to be too much different. I wouldn't say really anything's happened since then. I think we're at like 16.7K the other day, and now we're at 16.9, so all the same information and analysis still applies. But you know, we'll still spend a good hour on it, see if there's anything new. I'll talk about it later, man, but I really miss this Lido pump. Feels bad, man. I had such a great thesis here, and just barely missed it. I went to bed when it was like 1:20, like 7 or something. And then I woke up the next morning and we're up here at new highs, and like, just could not be bothered to buy at new highs. And today, of course, we pumped to $3 basically. So swing and a miss. Good directional plan. Just missed the timing a little bit. Maybe should have averaged in a little sooner, but that's how it goes. You know, it's not a big deal. Okay. I need to go grab something real quick, but I will be right back. Ugh. You guys ever use these like these nicotine pouches? I was never really into them, but I had a really bad like vaping addiction, so I picked a pack up at the recommendation of my buddy Messi. And honestly, I've not wanted to vape since. It's been almost a year, I think. But anyways, feels good, man. Nicotine pouches, very cool. Excuse me. All right. Yo, I literally have a pack of Rogues in my hand. That's exactly what it is. I was sleeping on these, dude. I was like, at first I was a Zen boy. You know, that's just the one Messi said it was really good. So I tried some Zens. I liked them, but they were huge. And then I tried the On brand, which I really liked because they were small and they really hit hard, but they were shredding my gums, dude. Like, Oh my gosh, it was just like not bleeding or anything, but man, my gums fucking hurt. I was like, damn, am I just like, do I just have to get used to these? I don't know. And then I saw on YouTube or something about the rogues, and I was like, I've never seen that around here. And so I went and I had to check a few gas stations, but I found them. Oh, dude, I will never go back to the other ones. Rogues are like they're soft and they actually taste good. They're not too big, but they're not too small. Just the right amount of honey melon and mango. Damn, I haven't seen either of those. I can only find apple and like spearmint here. But I'll have to keep a lookout. Yeah, exactly. They're already moist. Yes, dude. Yeah, I put in a Zen like a couple weeks ago because I couldn't find any pouches when I was in Raleigh, and it was just it was not. It was dry, and it was just very tasteless. Ugh, disgusting. All right, let me get up. You guys have to tell me if my stream goes down or something because I can't see my other monitor very well here. All right. I assume that's coming through all right. So, anyways, I hope you guys are all having a great start to your week here, great start to your year. It's been a while since we last streamed. I mean, a week ago was New Year's. Like, not gonna stream then. The week before that, Christmas. Not gonna stream then. So our last stream was the week before that, back on the 18th, and I mean, let's be honest. Here's the 18th. We're literally $100 above where we were on the 18th. So literally nothing has happened. All that's happened is we've continued to go sideways. Everyone's waiting for this big expansion up here or the run of the lows, and all we've done is just chop, 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 chop. So it's been very dull. Definitely no real reason to trade right now outside of, 3 or 4 coins that are popping off. You can see there's a few here. OP is pretty good today. I think Gala was the other one, and Lido. Those 3 doing pretty well. What was the other one? I think Ocean. Yeah, Ocean had a pretty good day, but nothing crazy. When you defer to the higher time frames, I mean, we still got so much work to do to break out of these bear market lower highs. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's do a top down on BTC. Woo crew checking in. Let's go. Yeah, same with Woo. I mean, Woo's got a lot to do, but it's getting there. It's getting there. The monthly's finally starting to roll over a little bit, but it's gonna take some time. One of the things I like to compare to is like 2017 coins. Look where we are now. Could we be forming a bottom? For sure. You look at some of the big coins. Let me turn off my indicators because we don't even need them. Could we be forming a bottom? Sure. Absolutely. Some of this stuff has gone down absolutely massively and is just sitting back at, my goodness. I mean, some of this stuff is at COVID lows. Can you guys believe that? Like, it almost felt like we would never come back there. And some of the stuff is all the way back at COVID lows. And this is how everything looks, right? Big move up and we're all the way back. Let's compare that to some old classics from the last bull run. Did we just go down here like this, and re-enter a bull market? No. We chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped and nuked and chopped and ripped and chopped and nuked. It just seems to me very unlikely that we will go from here to here in a very short period of time. I mean, this was 2 full years. And of course, in between here, there were some good runs. I mean, look at this. This is $6 at the lows, $5-6 to 24 at the peak. So still plenty of good moves if you're willing to trade around the chop and trade around on the contrarian side. But you're really just as better off waiting it out, waiting for your higher high, buying a higher low, and then just, all you got to worry about is this little period of time. You don't got to worry about all this. And there's so many coins right now that look like this. right? So let's take a little. Will this work if I try and do this? Let's take a little snapshot here. Something like this. Boom. I don't know if this will translate to other charts without being all messed up, but let's try it. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Wait, why was your message retracted from chat? Did you retract a message? All you said was "woo crew." Weird. Anyways, let's try. Here it is. Nice, 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 nice. So this is perfect. So this is probably what we are in store for. Maybe you can, shrink. Whoa. Maybe you can like shrink it around and stuff. I'm not saying it's gonna, take this long or this long or this long, but I would wager. Let's see. Bitcoin halving is gonna be early 2024, like April, May, June, July, something like that. So let's assume May. If this is BTC halving, I would wager, something. I don't think Solana make new highs. I would wager maybe something like. I don't think we'll run after halving. I think we will dump. We'll pump into halving. That makes the most sense to me. And then we'll dump as people's. You'll pump into halving, and then halving will hit, and people will expect everyone to buy on the day of the halving or whatever, and they won't, and then they'll realize, oh shit, this pump before the halving was the pump. I gotta sell, and they'll sell right after it, and then a month to 2 months will pass, and then we'll start to pump again as the real results of the Bitcoin halving hit. That's the time to make money right there. Like this, you can make good money here. We'll probably go from $10 back up to $30-$40. Great pump. But then we'll go back to 15, $10 again. We'll stay there for months and months on end until everyone loses hope. And, that's all there is to it. I mean, I hope we're all clear here. We're all adults. I am not saying this is for sure how it's going to go. Based off the past and just off my, thoughts, I think it's very unlikely we'll just go from here. Even if this is bottom, we'll just go from top, bottom, right back to top. Like, I think that's extremely unlikely. The best bet is maybe going back to these lower high pivots from before, all this FTX drama and whatnot. But I don't think we'll just be going from here all the way up here, with no rhyme or reason. Necromaniac. Oh, okay. Right on. On a little personal account there, I see. Do some girlfriend chores. Ooh. Yeah. We all know what that's like. Well, good luck, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the VOD. I'm going to try not to make it too long, but take care. But anyways, I won't talk too much more about this, but just keep this in mind, there's plenty of time, most likely, until we're back in the green. All right, so my strategy is mainly trying to get involved, invested into projects that are looking for big stuff at the end of this year and the start of next year, right? Stuff, Q1 of 2023, I don't really care about. Even if it's actually a massive development, it likely gets faded right after and then just dumps or goes sideways like everything else. Like, I don't think there's going to be a coin just doing this perfectly, in this year, right? I think it's going to take a lot of time to develop. There will be a handful that actually do, of course, but it's going to take a lot of time. Anyways, back to the top down. And again, I'm really going to try and make this relatively quick because it's pretty much what we talked about a few days ago on the video. But anyways, let's take a look at the monthly. So things are still looking pretty grim. We're just kind of sitting in the middle of no man's land from a lot of different perspectives. One way being... Sorry, my cat's trifling. One way being we're sitting between the bands and, well, it doesn't exist yet, but in theory, all of our longer term moving averages are down here somewhere. Right? Just like, you see how there's the big gap between the bands and the 200 and pi and stuff? Well, it doesn't exist yet because we haven't existed for 200 months or whatever. But, you could imagine that the longer term, I bet if we throw up a 100, it'll probably show up. Just for the sake of, oopsies, just for the sake of argument. Let's throw up a 100 and see where the 100 month is at. Exactly, right? So 100 month is here. If a 200 existed, it'd probably be somewhere down here. Pi would be down here. So we're in the middle of no man's land, right? We're sitting below key support, but also quite a bit above key support. And then from a horizontal price analysis as well, the only key supports I see on the monthly are like right here, this key high from 2019, the highest close from the 2017 bull market, and then this little doohickey right here. This was the big breakout, push from 10K all the way to 60 in like, I don't know, 6 months. And then, of course, $20,000. So we're just chop smack in the middle of two of the biggest levels in crypto. Right? There's not really a whole lot of edge right now, in my opinion, from a horizontal price analysis. Oh, I gotta sneeze. All right. There's not really a whole lot of edge on a horizontal price analysis, and as far as EMAs go, there's not a lot of edge either because we're sitting above, fair bit above, a key longer term EMA or MA, and I'm gonna take that off because I don't really use the 100. And then we're sitting below, all the 60, 50, 40, 30, 21, 20, whatever EMAs. We're sitting below the 8. The 8 is coming down hard. So it's still quite bearish. I'm going to blow my nose real quick. All right. So as far as EMAs go, it looks pretty bearish. Horizontal price analysis looks pretty bearish. The monthly stochastic is the only thing that really piques my interest on the monthly. I mean, you have to respect the cycle. When the cycle looks like this, you gotta respect it. That shit's gonna roll over and roll over hard. The same as it does when it's like this. And likewise, the same it does when it's like this, and like this. It's gonna come back. Is it necessarily gonna do this? I don't know about that. But you could get something like this, right? With a good pump back up here into some more sideways consolidation. I think that's pretty reasonable. But outside of that, momentum's still coming down pretty dramatically. We want to see the holy trifecta, right? We want to see a monthly engulfing candle, which right now would have to be above a close above 18.3K. We want to see the stochastic come up, and we want to see an uptick in momentum. And in addition to that, we'd really like to see a close above this monthly 8 EMA. So we've still got another few weeks in this month, but let's check it out. We're going to be looking at this blue value right here. So last month it was 22.5. Now we're at 21.3. So next month it's probably going to be about right around 20K is where the 8's going to be next month. And then the month after that, it'll probably be 18.5. So, if we can stay in this general region for a bit and then finally pop above that, maybe in like May or April or something, the stochastic comes back up, momentum comes back up, things actually start to look pretty good again. But until then, I'm definitely going to be erring on the side of caution. And, as much as these setups are nice, more than anything, we want to see a real trend emerge. Because you don't really need all that stuff, right? You can pretty clearly see the existing trend. Oopsies. Right? Just by following these like simple lower highs of the monthly candles, you can see the current existing trend. Same way you could see it back here. Right? Like, this is the same thing, Until we get a real trend emerging, like we get with these candles here, I just don't really see any reason to be taking anything super risky. I'm sitting about 40% cash, 50% cash, something like that in my crypto exposure. And then, realistically, my crypto exposure relative to how much I have outside of crypto is not that high either. In the bull market, almost all my money is in crypto. Net worth wise, most of it is crypto, and it's extremely high risk. My net worth could take a gigantic hit pretty much any day. But right now, wow, I've got some shit coins. We all know XCAL. This was a pretty nasty hit. I think I'm still down like, a little over 50% on this one. Relative to my entire net worth, it's not really that much. It definitely still hurts, and I hate to see, my bags go down, but it's not like the bull run where, XCal would have been 30% of my net worth or something, right? And the reason for that is it's just not the environment I'm looking for to be taking those extremely high risk trades, That's pretty much what I did all of 2018 and 2019, 2020, just taking trades at the wrong time. Partially because, gambler's mentality, it just feels good to, it feels like you're making progress. If I'm not trading, am I really making progress? Well, yes, you actually are. Being patient is still a way to make progress, right? And so this time, and albeit not perfectly by any means, I mean, I gave back, my goodness, since even just the very start of last year, I started getting back a lot of money with time, with Butterfly, the whole Curve Wars narrative, going balls deep on that. Still not recognizing the risk-off environment. That stuff was kind of hitting me hard, right? There was a very clear lower high in March and April, and right, it was just kind of slow to recognize that. But now, ever since really May, June, I mean, I've taken a lot of crypto out since then, so the numbers are a little bit different. But really, I'm still up from like my 30K lows, partially just because played a lot of defense, and that's not to say get out of the trash. Yeah, my Bojangles. Sorry about that. And that's not to say that I've not taken some trades or some bad trades. I mean, I don't even think I was in XCal until like August. So, I've had some winning trades since then, had some losing trades, but still sitting up pretty nicely for my actual lows. And so, pretty proud of that. I don't think I definitely did not do that the last bear market. I mean, this was my low. This was my low, right? But this time, my low is actually before where the bottom is. And I think a lot of that has to come with, recognizing a little bit better than last time. This is capital preservation mode times, And so I won't be sniping the bottom most likely on a lot of stuff, Lido, great example the other day. I'm being cautious. Maybe in a bull market, I would have just aped Lido at the new high and made some money today. But, that's how it goes, right? In a risk-off environment, there's going to be these crazy, 2x pumps out of nowhere. But most likely they're going to get faded, and it's going to be followed by a lot of painful chop where, even if you were involved in the original pump, you'd probably be given a lot of it back on the chop afterwards, thinking some multi-month trend is going to emerge or whatever. And it's not to say that's not possible. Like, I'm not bearish long-term on crypto by any means. So I've got a bunch of crypto that I'm still holding. I got some liquid stuff like XCAL, Unifund or Unification. We've got some Amplify. I got a handful of bags, handful of shit coins, but most of my exposure is in like long-term vesting, seed sales, stuff like that. Stuff that might be a complete miss, but at the same time, it could be a complete hit, and I'm forced to hold it since most of it, I haven't even gotten these tokens yet. I won't get these tokens for months and months, maybe even into next year. So it's basically forced exposure. I know some of the guys in Blockcircle should be in on Shatterpoint. That's one of the ones I'm most hype about in block games. So, these things I cannot sell. I cannot panic exit vested tokens. So I'm always gonna be invested in the long term in crypto. So that being said, I don't fret as much about missing, something like this. Because if crypto does well, intermediate term, long term, I'm gonna make money anyways. If we get something like this, there's a good chance that this turns out like this, right? Like it's just gonna take time to get all this sorted out. So I'm just not gonna be stressing out over missing the bottom when we know most of the money comes from something like this, something like this, not from having to buy here. It's not like buying here is the only way to make a ton of money in the bull market, right? I was super late. I didn't even get into the last one until like here, and most of my money was made right here. And same last time, most of my money was made. This is when I took the big Woo trade. Honestly, like I was not down bad or anything, but I was not doing that great up until this point. We had Rook, we had MPH, we had PHA. There were a handful of solid trades. For sure. From not just now DeFi Summer, we kicked ass, absolutely destroyed DeFi Summer, made so much money, and then gave almost all of it back by over investing into Strong. But then came back, turned my Strong into a bunch of other bags, turned those bags into some more, made some good money. But most of my money came from the Woo trade, which happened in here, and the Spell trade, which was in here. Isn't that crazy? I didn't make bank because I bought here. I didn't make bank because I bought this first breakout. Nope. I got in a good opportunity when things were hot. And that was it, and my other banging trades were right here, right? Like you'd think, wait, Bitcoin didn't have to be doing this for you to make bank. No, I can come in right here and make bank if the conditions are right. And that's how it goes. I don't have to stress about making sure I've got the best dollar cost average in here, that I made sure I bought 3.9 instead of 4.3. Like, that stuff doesn't matter, right? What matters is that when this comes again, you're still around to be involved, like if you blow it trying to nail the bottom here or here or here, and then you get liquidated, and then it rips, and then you start chasing, and then you get snoozed out by the chop, and then you're out of money, and COVID is the final straw and all that, and then everything gets good again. Well, that's really gonna suck to lose 90% of your net worth and then 10x it and just be break even over a long period. It's just ugh. No thanks. So I'd rather just wait until we get some better setups, until we're in a strong uptrend. If we're not above this 8 EMA on the monthly, I'm really not that interested in 90% of trades. Like there's definitely some long-term stuff that I like. And I mean, let's be real. Bitcoin's down 80%. That's already a good discount. If you were taking profits on the way up, this is already a good buy. Of course, we can all recognize, it can go down another 30, 40% or whatever. But long term, buying at 17K, in my opinion, is going to be a very, very good investment. The same way that, buying at 6K long term was a good investment, right? Was it a good investment here? No. But then all of a sudden it was. And then all of a sudden it wasn't. And then all of a sudden it was again, right? And I think that is going to be very similar here. It could be good for a bit, and then it could be really bad, and then it could be really good again, and then bad, and then good, and then bad, and then good, and then really good. So long term, this is probably a pretty good buy. And the same goes for a lot of shitcoins too. Like I used Solana as an example earlier. This is probably a good buy long term. Is it gonna tag somewhere down here first? Maybe. I don't know. But long term, I think there's a good chance that we're also gonna tag somewhere up here. Right? So if you got the patience and you're managing your position size well, keeping it nice and light since we're still in a long-term downtrend, I think buys here can still be good. It's just not, in my opinion, the time to be super aggressive because you're just asking to get chopped up. You're asking to get really emotional when you buy, and then you wait a week, and then you wait a month, and then you wait 2 months, and is the original thesis still valid? Blah blah blah. It's just a lot of stress. It's a lot of effort, and the reward is just not worth the risk right now, in my opinion. Because, even just using Bitcoin as an example, your risk is a dump to less than 15K, right? And what's your reward? A pump to the monthly 8, like 2 times your risk is not bad. It's just kind of not really worth the stress for me. So I'm pretty much just steering clear for now, being patient, keeping my eyes open. Trying to do research, and I've still got a couple of bags we'll talk about in a minute, but for the most part, I'm just, I'm taking it easy. Keep my eyes and ears open, waiting for the right opportunity. Like yesterday, with Lido, this was a really good opportunity, right? A trend that looks like this is a good trend. I want to be a buyer, and I want to be involved, especially while Bitcoin is holding up okay. this is a good buy. Unfortunately, I was asleep and didn't wake up till it was at new highs, so I did not get involved. But right there, that's another good buy. Holding the 8, little engulfing setup, boom. And it's not always going to be like that, but there's still opportunities to be had. But on candles like this, you take your profits and you get out and you wait because, right, this was the opportunity. Oh my gosh, this was the opportunity. Okay, and now sure it could go another 2x from here, but you take dubs like this in bear markets and then you just relax. Okay, and then you wait for Bitcoin to tell you that things are good again. And right now, it's still very iffy. Okay. All right. So zooming on in here, we looked at the monthly. Again, the monthly is pretty much completely bearish. The weekly is also looking very bearish. We still can't get above this weekly 8 EMA. Ever since this FTX drama shit, we've just been trending below it for weeks and weeks and weeks. So maybe, if we can clear that 8 EMA and retest it, from underneath or from above it, sorry, that might be a good opportunity long back towards 20K or something like that. And, there, maybe intraday, you'll actually catch a decent risk reward setup. Something like this. Right? And even then, I mean, look at that. 2.2, not great, not terrible, just kind of, kind of boring. And at that point, what are we targeting? The key pivot? Are we targeting, the 200 on the daily? Are we targeting the bands on the daily? There's just, the monthly 8. There's so much resistance above us that I'm not even confident that if I had a decent plan for this, that I'd even be able to stick to it because, it's just such a sketchy environment that every moment you're feeling like the rug might just be pulled out beneath you. So I don't see any trades here on the weekly that really get me excited. That's really the only one, maybe a long here, tight stop below the weekly setup, and you're targeting like 18.5. It's just nothing really for me to get involved in. The cycle looks okay. Momentum's trying to bottom out. The weekly 8's trying to go flat a little bit. Things look a little bit better on the weekly than they do on the monthly, but all in all, things still look pretty shite. I'm not seeing anything that really catches my attention here. And then you zoom in once more to the daily, and there's just there's no trend, right? The only trend we have right now, and the only reason something like Lido is pumping is because we have a little itty bitty 4-hour uptrend right here. Okay, now if that continues into a nice pump, there will be some good shit coins pumping a little bit. But it's just like it was back in November, December, right? After FTX drama. You get this little uptrend, things start to look decent, and then everything gets crushed. Right? And so I'm not really willing to bet that this is just going to resolve beautifully back to 20K. Sure, it's possible, but for now, I'm just going to be sitting on my hands, trying to do some research. So, I'd like to have a couple, like, here's the big trades I'm looking at this week kind of mentality, but really, I just don't have much right now. Lido was the big one I was looking at. Kind of just missed out on that one. Maybe Wu Trade. If we get a dump back to like 12-13, I think there could be a good opportunity there. But most of this stuff, it just needs time. It just needs time for all this to get sorted out. And I'm not really one that's looking to make a ton on these little bounces here. I'm not sure how far they could go, and the stress is not worth the reward to me. What's going on in Hyobi? What the heck? Yeah, looks like a scam. So, anyways, guys, yeah, BTC, very little opportunity right now. It's just a bunch of chop. We really don't know if these big pushes down are just going to lead to more lower highs, and then another push down, right? And then another lower high in here, and then a push down. We just, there's no way to really know. And you're trading contrarian to the trend. So, just consider things if they were the opposite, right? Would you want to be shorting this or would you want to be long? I mean, oh shit. Sorry. I tried to mute my mic before I blow my nose. I know it's kind of gross. But anyways, would you guys want to be short or long here? First thought is you want to be long, right? I'd want to be buying these dips to the bands. A dip to the 200, I'd like to get long if I'm not long already. That just is what it is. This looks like a healthy intermediate term uptrend, right? So just consider that when you're thinking about just aping into these sideways periods. Like, if it was the other way around, you would not be feeling the same way. Okay? Get out of my trash. Get out of the trash, you nerd. Alright, so don't really have much more to say about Bitcoin. I mean, of the three scenarios, which one am I leaning more towards? I would probably say I'm leaning more towards a pump, actually, towards 20K. Like I said, the weekly just needs to clear the 8 EMA. If we can clear the bands here with a couple nice closes, we can probably get a little bit of a pump up, at least to 18.5. But I'm certainly not confident enough to be taking any big picture trades or anything like that. All right, and then, let's talk some shitcoins here, okay? So my biggest positions right now are XCAL. Partially, this one's kind of a little bit whiffed, right? Like, when I was originally into this one, the position size kind of made sense for my overall crypto portfolio, but back in November, December, I took out a pretty sizable amount of my portfolio just to the bank, but I didn't sell XCAL at the same time I did. So, previously what was like 5 or 6% of my portfolio quickly became like 20-30%. But I didn't want to sell at a loss at that point, blah blah blah, got emotional about it. And now I'm in the hole, down 50%. So pretty big position here for me. I can't say I'm really stoked about it or that impressed, right? I don't think the team has done what I was really hoping for. I mean, they basically just fucked off from December 20th to like yesterday. So, they took off like 2 or 3 weeks with nothing. No announcement, no talks, very little action in the Discord, all that stuff. But whatever. We'll give him a mulligan. It's because it was Christmas, New Year's, and I don't know their lives. For all we know, the XCAL team really was working all year long last year and didn't see their families much, and they needed that time. I can't say they didn't. I don't know their lives, so I'm not going to be a hater or anything. But as far as effort to the project goes, the last few weeks have been pretty shit. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I was actually close to puking the lows on this day. I almost puked it down to like 6 cents. I was like, you know what? I just know I'm going to hate myself if I do, because look at the sell-off. I mean, the sell-off all the way from like 60 cents is so low volume, 20K, 30K, 20K, 30K, 50K, 20K, 10K, that, and look at this, we pumped from 7 cents to almost 20 cents off like not even 200K in volume. I mean, so all it would really take is a pump on Bitcoin to 20, 22K for this to get back to my entry, I'm thinking. So I don't think I'm willing to stomach the loss on this one. I think I will just sit it out. This will probably do like this, some shit like this. It'll probably take some time, but I think we're going to get back up on my entry sooner or later once some of the bigger XCAL developments get up and running. So I'm just kind of sitting on my hands on this one. It's, it's exposure to crypto, so it kind of helps me, I don't wake up thinking, oh shit, did I miss a crypto pump? Like, no, if crypto pumps, XCAL will probably go up, and same with my other main position right now, which is Unification. And this is like the main Oracle service or sidechain or some shit for Shibarium. And if you guys have paid attention to Sheeb and Bone lately, whoopsies. This shit's starting to pop off, okay? Shibarium is making some announcements and this and that. When will it be up and running? I don't really know, but for Shibarium to run, it requires bone to be used as gas, and it requires unification to be working properly. So this is basically my exposure to that. Previously I was in Caw, I was in Childhood's End, I had some Quam, I had some Bone. Now I've nixed all that, a while ago, and I'm just holding Unification, right? I don't really feel the need to have all the ecosystem coins. I'll just hold this one. Looks really good. And, that'll be the end of that. I wish I could get a full chart for you guys. This is just... because Fund used to be a token on their own, like, blockchain. And so it's got a lot of price history. This is just after it became an ERC20 token. But anyways, this will be what most people are looking at, so we'll look at this. I think that, genuinely, there's a good chance to see this back near $1 sometime in the coming month. So, sitting up all right from my entry, 50-60%. It's good, but it's not quite enough. If we were up here at 50-60 cents, I'd probably start to book some, because that's the first big push in your favor. But for now, just sitting on my hands. I don't think I'll buy any more. I think I'm pretty happy with my current position size on this one, but I'm expecting something, like this, right? Going into the rest of Q1. And I'll definitely look to book some if we get up here. My major target is like around $1, but if we get a good 2x from here, or really, my entry is 25 to 30 cents. If we get a good 2x from there, 50-60 cents, then I'll probably book a third or half or something like that just to raise some cash and de-risk my position a little bit. But, it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. I sat underwater for a little bit, right, throughout most of December, but that's okay. I'm not really stressing about that one. And then aside from those two, Amplify is definitely one to keep your eye on. I kind of whiffed this one a little bit because I got in originally in here right before a massive 10x run in the bear market. That is absolutely massive, and unfortunately, I locked my whole position into amplifiers or whatever back then. So I made jack shit on that pump. Instead of 10xing my money, I got memed into the, gotta lock my money up for the long term. We've all been there a few times. So, no, I'm not bitter about it or anything. It's not that big, but, it would have been nice to book on that massive 10x just 2 weeks after entry. Come on. How do we do it, lads? How the fuck do we keep doing it? I don't know. But anyways, moving on from that, not bitter about it. It's okay. Shit like that happens, lesson learned, blah, blah, blah. I have actually earned a fair bit of rewards since then. I'm not sure off the top of my head exactly how many, but it's a pretty good bit. And I think my position with that is almost completely de-risked. I think I get rewards in like March or April or something. So, I guess if this goes to like $5 before then it's kind of a flop. But if this stays in the $15 to $20 range in the coming months, should be looking pretty good. And it pays out Ethereum every month at the start of the month. Now it kind of needs Ethereum's validator, flywheel, or whatever to start popping off to really make more money. So it really is genuinely a long-term project, and they've got a lot of good stuff coming this year. I think they're doing some kind of perpetual DEX or something like that. They'll be dropping a new token to amplify fused amplifiers, so hopefully she get an airdrop for that, make some good money. Again, it sucks to have missed the 10x. That is a fact. But I'm locked up in this bitch for the long term. I cannot just puke at the lows here either. The same way I couldn't TP the highs, which really sucked. I also can't puke the lows, which, if it does some shit like this, into the rest of the year, it'll be really nice in the future to have not been able to puke it at $20 if it goes back to 200. Or, better than that if it does that, and then, another bearish thing, and then that. It'd be nice to have not puked at 20 when it's at 600, right? That's kind of the outlook, right? I can't just be emotional about it. There's no reason to think about it. It's locked up. I get rewards every month. If I want to sell the rewards, great. Other than that, it's just a money printer. It's free money every month. Not quite yet because I haven't fully de-risked it, but once it's fully de-risked, it's just free income. Whether it's $100, $500, $1,000, doesn't matter. It's free income every single month. So, and it's for the most part, it's real yield. It's not just inflating their own token for the most part, especially the Ethereum revenue. But anyways, in the meantime, not much hype around it. If you look at the volume up here, right, it's very low. There's not much interest in it right now. But very quickly, we could be back at $1 million, $1 million buys. And look at that, $1 million took this. Well, I mean, I'm sure it was more than that. $1 million there, 1.1. Let's say $2 million. It took $2 million to push this from $20 to $200. That is not that much money in crypto. Not in the slightest. In the multi-trillion-dollar market, that is not that much money. So, anyways, I put a good Medium article in the chat about this. They got some cool stuff coming up. Definitely one I think it's worth keeping your eye on, even if you're not involved. But yeah, pretty sweet. First on-chain annuity. Really like that. Outside of that, let me double check real quick. I think that's about it for me. I mean, I've got a little GMX position. I've got a little bit of revest. I've still got my titanium, which I'm pretty sure is just a bust. Probably gonna stay at 0 forever. I've got some Sparax. And then outside of that, I mean, it's really just 30 or 40 different like vested bags that I'm waiting to see how they perform. So for the most part, that's pretty much my whole crypto exposure right now. A little bit of XCAL, a little Unification, a little Amplify, and of course, USDT, USDC, and that's about it. That's about all I got. And then all the vested bags. So yeah, you guys got any questions about this? I mean, I know it's kind of a quiet stream. It's just like last bear market, guys. I mean, 2017 bull market, live stream gets some good viewers. 2018, 2019 bear market, it's like 2 to 5 viewers every stream. But everyone from those streams stuck around and was here for that 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 bull market, whatever you want to call it. Same thing goes now. Everyone that's here right now is dedicated to this shit long term and is aware of what's going on in crypto week to week to week. You guys are going to kill it next bull market. The 50 people that were watching this stream a year ago that are now not watching, those guys are toast. Those guys are going to buy all your bags 10 times higher than you. So y'all ain't got nothing to stress about. Those guys are going to get chopped up in the bear market. You guys are just going to chill, sit heavy in cash, try and hit the few opportunities when they show up, and keep a cool, calm, collected head. Okay? So, I mean, shoot, I like to make these live streams a bit longer, at least like an hour and a half, but, I mean, genuinely, I don't really have much more to talk about. Definitely looking for another long-term entry into Woo Trade. Pretty flat on this one right now. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I'll let you guys know if I see any other opportunities like there was on Lido this week, but for now, I mean, I'm definitely not chasing the pump like this. Absolutely not. And so for now, just sitting on my hands, and seeing what kind of opportunities we get in Q1. All right. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you guys, learned a little something here, had a good time. I'll try to get a video out in a couple of days, but wouldn't stress about it. The video is most likely going to be exactly what we talked about today because I seriously doubt anything is going to happen before then. Last thing I'd like to note, though, we're kind of seeing what I want to see as far as the dollar goes and stocks go. So let me get rid of this. We really want to see stocks continue to pump from where we're at now. We definitely want to see this push back above 4,000. And the dollar, we definitely want to see this fail exactly where we just did, right? This was looking bad for crypto. And this was looking really bad. This is looking pretty good. Especially on the weekly. This was a gigantic bullish engulfing before. And now it's a pretty gross topping tail. So this is what we want to see for crypto, 1,000%. We do not want to see a sustained pump on the dollar above 105. We do not want to see stocks dropping below like 3,500, anything like that. But aside from that, I hope you all have a wonderful trading week. Continue having a great start to your year. If you guys have any questions, I will be in the chat pretty much all day, every day, or hit me up on Twitter. Also on there, way more than I should be. Okay? So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace.